Good morning, afternoon, evening, YouTube, and a massive hello and welcome to a bunch of new subscribers that I've had off the past couple of videos I've done, especially the last one where I talked about my experiences with anabolic steroids. I went through the cycles that I've run and the side effects that I experienced alongside that. And yes, I suppose this video is a little bit of a follow-up to that, whilst the video is still largely trending and attracting a lot more comments and likes and things like that still. They've all been very positive and very much people that are grateful, I suppose, that they can now have someone who will discuss these things and give a little bit more detail than what's often available out there. But yeah, I am going to continue to run you through how my off-season goes. Currently, I am running a maintenance phase, which would ideally be over in like 2 weeks' time. However, that leads to me checking in on the 18th of December and us beginning a mini cut, which I don't want to do a week before Christmas. So I'm going to hold off for 2 weeks and start that mini cut come I think it's the 2nd of Jan. Basically, the very first week of January, I will be going into a mini cut for about 8 weeks. I've got a photo shoot booked on March the 1st. So I will run you through that. And for that and for in general going forwards, I will be using forms of assistance. Like, for example, when I diet, there are fat loss agents at my disposal as an assisted athlete, which I will always be an assisted athlete. Like, it's not a choice. You can't become natural, unfortunately. You can't just decide I'm not taking things and therefore I'm a natural athlete now. That doesn't work that way. Certainly not as far as, the competitive federations are concerned. And yeah, I would never refer to myself as a natural based on the fact that I've spent 2 years being and using assistance. So therefore, I am an assisted athlete. There are still plenty of pathways at my disposal. However, anabolics will not be one of those pathways that I will use going forward based on the side effects I experienced and what I am willing to push. And I explained it in my video that I put up. But there's a forum that, if you're not familiar with, depending where, there's a lot of US people that have joined on and followed and subscribed from my last video. Although this forum is actually pretty global in terms of the different nationalities that post in it. But the Physique Collective, they did a post, so that's like a bodybuilding forum. I'd highly recommend if you are wanting to learn more about PEDs, then this is a really beneficial forum to join. Very open discussions going in there, videos, etc., talking through it. And they put the video up about anabolic use and how, we fill up our cups. So say if you've just done a cycle of Anavar, perhaps this would be where your cup is. You've just done the one cycle. And as you continue over the months, the years to continue taking anabolics, that cup gets full until the point where when it spills, we create a mess, as they said in the video, and that is when you will viralize. And from that, once your cup is full to the brim, you can't then take a break from anabolics and that cup goes back down, and then you can start filling it again. Once that cup is full, it doesn't go down. So if you've taken one cycle of Anavar, your cup's gonna be there and it'll never go back down again. And if you get to the top of that cup and start to spill over, then next time you take anabolics, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna viralize again very quickly. So for me, if I didn't do anything else, I would continue to viralize, and I don't want to. So therefore, I won't be using anabolics going forward. My progress in terms of, gaining muscle is going to be a little bit slower. However, I'm still going to absolutely give it my all, and I'm still going to aim to pursue my goals within bodybuilding, which if you're not familiar with, maybe I'll go on later in the video. But for now, it's an upper body day. I've got big shoulder press going down today, which I'm excited for. And I'm going to head to my local gym, and I'm going to, I'm not going to film too much, but I'll show you a bit of what I get up to, and then we'll resume when I'm back. Okay, so off to my favourite of my local gyms, House of Gains, which is where I do, to be honest, the majority of my sessions. This session is upper one, and it's largely a back focus session. There's 4 back exercises, 3 working sets on each. So yeah, I get 12 working sets for back on this. This is just a D-handle pull down, which is the last of the 4 exercises. So I've got a Cybex row as well in there. I've got a dumbbell incline row as well that I do on a bench, like a chest supported. And I also start with single arm pull down on a machine. And then, yeah, this is my last of the back exercises. Pretty good connection when I use the D handles, and it feels good. And my back is always pumped at this point in the session. and then it literally goes straight into shoulder pressing. And this is always a big movement for me. I am doing 70 kilos or 140 pounds, and then back off second set, and then back off again on a third set. So second set is this one that I filmed here, although it looks like it's been filmed on a potato, but this is the 65 kilo set, or it's like 130 pounds. I was pretty happy, to be honest, though, because I managed to get the reps I wanted. And yeah, just got to have my head really in the game for these kind of sets. The rest of the session after this point is just pretty much accessory work. So we've got lateral raises going in. The approach that my coach takes is pretty much laterals every single day. Like, I really need to grow my delts, and the lateral head of the delt is such an easy part of the musculature to recover so quickly and easily, and I can hit them 5 days a week without any issues. I've been doing that for a couple of months now, to be fair. So in all 5 of my sessions, I'll do some kind of lateral movement at the end. And then, because this is an upper session anyway, I do the cuffed lateral raise on the cable, and then I also do a machine lateral raise after that. And then by this point, I'm ready to just go into finishing with arms. So I just do some, at the moment, I'm doing cable curls with a rope, and yeah, they feel fine to me. I was using dumbbells and doing alternating curls, but I kind of ended up maxing them out, so it was time to swap them. So yeah. Good afternoon, YouTube. It's actually a couple of days in the future now. 1st of December, so happy Advent for those of you who celebrate Christmas. I'm just making my post-workout meal, so you probably last saw me when I was off to the gym on Wednesday, and it's Friday now. And yes, I did do my session on Wednesday. I've trained Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week, which is not like my usual routine. However, things knocked me out of sync because I was deloading until early last week, and then I also had a social event on the weekend, which meant that I didn't train. And yes, I've done 4 sessions this week, 4 sessions last week as well. Not training over the weekend because, again, social event. You know, I do have a life outside of bodybuilding, especially at Christmas time, and I manage my schedule around that sometimes. So yeah, I'm just making 75 grams of jasmine rice now, which will go with some chicken. I usually have, 25 grams of protein worth of chicken, which with the pre-cut chicken that I buy is 87 grams of that stuff. So I'm going to have that as like a basic post-workout meal now, nothing too exciting. I always add frozen peas to my rice as well, so we're just getting a bit of veg in with the meal. So, and it's easy as well, obviously, just put it on the boil and cook it off. But yeah, I never actually caught you up on how my training went and everything. Today would usually be deadlift day, but I usually do deadlifts on a Friday, but I'll have rested on a Thursday usually. So I have a 5-day training split, which runs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, rest, Friday, Saturday, rest. So rest Thursdays and Sundays usually. And because I've done, 3 sessions back to back, this is my 3rd session, I wouldn't dream of doing deadlifts, especially when Smith squats went in yesterday. So did Smith squats, 3 plates a side. So that's, in the UK, we're talking plates, which is like 20 kilo plates. For the US, that would be like 45 pounds. So to convert that, it's like 3 45-pound plates on each side. Yeah, do the quick maths and work out how much I lifted in terms of Smith squats. But I only say that because I know that I gained a load of American subscribers, and yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, we're talking plates per side. So it was 120 kilos, whatever that is in pounds. I did that on the Smith yesterday for squats, and yeah, I'd be absolutely ruined if I tried to do deadlifts today. At the moment, I'm deadlifting 140 kilos, and that's like 3 plates per side, so 3 45-pound plates on each side. And yeah, obviously plus the bar weight, which is 20 kilos or 45 pounds. So that makes 140 kilos for what I've been doing deadlift wise. I did 8 reps on that last week. So I knew I wouldn't dream of trying to beat that this week, because if I did that, I would really hurt myself. So sometimes we have to take these decisions into account. So yeah, I just did my upper session and put some cable single arm rows in instead. Just a less taxing movement completely than the deadlift, but still got a great pump, got a good connection with my lats, and went and did some delts, laterals, some arms at the end. So it was a good session. Yeah, I'll cook off this rice now, and I'll sit down with you a bit and catch you up on everything that this video is actually meant to be about. Okay, so if you are a new subscriber here, you're gonna have to get used to me never making an effort for these videos. I have just been for a sports massage, and she always makes my hair look terrible with oils and stuff, but oh well. So I guess just to kind of round up this video, and also what I talked about in the last video, is yeah, obviously the side effects of anabolics and what I experienced, and then, you know, coming off the back of that, and obviously the last couple of weeks have been a lot to think about, but when it really came down to it, the bottom line was, like, as I talked about with the cup analogy, like, I can take anabolics if I want to, of course I can, but for the side effects I've had and the fact that I don't want any more, I therefore feel that I can no longer continue to take anabolics, and I won't be doing it going forward, because yeah, it's just, personally for me, it's not worth it. I've never really sort of maybe talked about my goals in a lot of depth within bodybuilding, but yeah, I mean, I generally chose the assisted route because I was interested in pursuing the IFBB route within bodybuilding. So for that, you know, I felt that to be competitive within that federation, within the category that I'm in, which is figure, I would therefore need to kind of push for the size required to be competitive against the kind of ladies that go on those stages. And that was where my decision stemmed from. And now I'm looking at it all and I'm thinking, I had a bit of a panic thinking, oh God, like, I'll never reach my goals within bodybuilding now, because, you know, I don't have that muscle building advantage of using anabolics. However, I'm still going to go for it, you know, it's going to take me a bit longer, and that's okay. I'm still going to go down that route. I'm still going to compete with the federations that I want to compete with, and, you know, so be it. Let's see what happens, because, you know, figure isn't actually all about size. In Europe, yes. In America, actually not so much. So yeah, I want to compete internationally at some point, whether that's in my next season, and if that means me going to the States, I'm going to go to the States, where, you know, smaller girls with the shape are rewarded a little bit more. So yes, because obviously, you know, structure and shape wise, like, it doesn't look so much when I'm not lean, but when I lean down, the shape is really there, and that's where I kind of have my competitive edge, so to speak, within competing. So yes, I'm not going to have the size, definitely not by next time I compete, that, you know, the other girls I'd be on stage with are going to have, but that's okay with me, because I'm still going to continue to train as hard as I possibly can. And at the end of the day, as I mentioned previously, I'm still an assisted athlete, so I still have other pathways. You know, I run GH and metformin year round. I have done for 2 years, and, you know, things like GH, obviously, for me personally, like, I would notice a big improvement in my recovery. Like, the reason I can train 5 days a week the way I train and recover that from that training is largely down to the GH. I used to train 4 times a week when I was natural, and struggle. And when I went on GH, I actually, a few months in, I was like, I'm going to take some time off. I'm just going to see what happens, just because, you know, in terms of, like, the actual benefits of using GH, like, they're quite negligible in the grand scheme of things. And therefore I thought, let's see if it's actually worth it for me, because it does require pinning every day. That is something that I do every single morning. You know, you keep it in the fridge when you go away. Like, do you have access to a fridge? If not, it's not the end of the world for a couple of days. But my point is, you know, you're always having it in the fridge. You're always having to come down every single morning and pin. Ideally fasted as well, so I always try and do it and, like, not eat for a while. I know it doesn't have the biggest benefits in that sense from when you're not dieting, but it's still, you know, arguably you've got the body composition benefits in your off season, which for me probably doesn't help that much, because I just don't hold fat very well. That's the fact of the matter. I'm 5 foot tall, so I don't really hold my fat very well. So I can take all the GH and I'm still gonna, you know, at some point not look that aesthetically pleasing. Yes, but anyway, I took the GH out for a couple of weeks and I noticed a big difference, especially with my joints. The reason that I originally put GH in the first place was purely from a recovery standpoint anyway for my joints, because I was having so much, like, elbow pain. And then my old coach said, oh, why don't we like add in that and see how we go? And ever since then I've been fine. I also take Support Max Joint year round, which is a UK company called Strom that does lots of really good, like, products for assisted athletes. And not just assisted, but a lot of the products are geared towards assisted athletes, like liver support, kidney support, that kind of thing. But yeah, Support Max Joint for me, because it's got, like, so much glucosamine sulfate in, it's got a good amount of vitamin C, and, like, it really helps when I don't take it. Again, I noticed. So there are some supplements where it's like you just have to trial and error whether it's going to be good for you or not, and sometimes the best way to actually trial it and make sure it wasn't a placebo is to take it out and see what happens. So I keep GH in. I've got metformin in that I take 500 every evening, which is a pretty standard typical dose for, like, any female slash anyone, and that's it really year round. And then I'll be doing a mini cut. Obviously, timeline wise, it would be good to start that in 2 weeks time, but that is the 18th of December, so that, like I said before, we're not doing that. We're going to start first thing in January. 2 months of just like balls to the wall dieting, you know, straight in kind of the deep end, no messing around, big food drop in the first week, get things moving. 8 weeks to just kind of pull off a decent chunk of weight and body fat and tidy up basically. So I will be using assistance there, you know, there'll be like Clen going in pretty much quite soon on. And whether or not I'll use like the T3, T4 again, we'll see if I need it, because for me, it's quite, you know, you are messing around with your thyroid hormones, and you know, it's quite a lot to do that just for a mini cut. So if it's needed, I'll maybe go for it, but we'll see how it all goes. We'll see how we go with, you know, the food drop and the Clen, and obviously there's that Yihimbine as well, which I've used in the past, which we can put that in as well and stuff. So there will be other, you know, there will be fat loss agents going in when I do my mini cut, so I will be assisted on that mini cut. The only difference with me going forward now is I won't be using anabolics, but I will still be an assisted athlete and I will still be using assistance, just not any kind of androgens. So no Anavar, no Primo, which was all I ever used. But yeah, anything else that, like, you know, would cause virilization in any way, I will not be taking going forward. So that's pretty much my decision as it is. There's obviously plenty of other risks of using other forms of assistance, and they're things that I, you know, continue to contend with, and whether or not they're worth it to me, which at the moment they are. And at the moment I'm happy with the way I'm managing that from a health perspective. Yeah, I've got bloods to run in 17 days time, booked in on the 18th, so we'll see how things are, and I'd like to see if my my thyroid hormones are in check as well before I'd even consider. So I'll know by then. I haven't had a thyroid taken since I did my initial post-show bloods, and they were elevated because I was still taking T3 and T4 at the time. So I would like to see if things are back in range. I imagine they are, because just of the way that, you know, my body weight's been maintaining, and I've been pushing up in this gaining phase, and it's not been anything drastic and like in terms of weight gain or anything like that, and it's been very level for a long time. So I imagine it's in range, but it would be nice to get that confirmation from the bloods. So yes, I will keep you updated. Obviously, like, there's quite a few of you who are new here, so if there's anything you like seeing, if you like the voiceovers when I train, or you just want raw training footage, if you want to see more of my eating, which is probably, I know they go down well anyway, full days of eating, so there'll be more of them to come. I'll run through my bloods for you if you like, and talk in a little bit more detail about things that we look out for in like, you know, bloods and things like that. But yeah, anything you want, just comment below. You were all amazing with the comments last time, and I find it really useful to get feedback and know what people actually are liking, so please do that. And yes, plenty more to come. Thank you so much for joining along in the journey, and I will catch you in the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you are new still, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao for now.